I remember being at this turning point of life of like, I can't be the man I want. I can't be the husband I want. I can't be the parent. I can't be the member of my community. I can't take the trips I wanted. I
Yeah.
can't move us in the community I want, making 40 grand a year. My wife was making 60 being a nurse. And I'm, this entrepreneurial driven man who's got all this passion and zest for life,
Right.
but I can't make it happen.
All right, welcome to True Talk. Got a special guest today. I always like to say this, Grady, because I'm old, via satellite. Remember back in like the old TV show, like we got joining us via satellite. It's not really satellite, it's via Riverside, but we got my man Grady Polcyn. How we doing, Grady?
I'm good, man. So happy to be on here. Excited to spend some time with you and looking forward to this call, man. Just coming
Absolutely,
out of
dude.
convention, I'm like on fire, Sizer.
Dude, I must say this. We don't give out an award for this, but you have like the best hair in all of Family First Life. And I'm jealous because I'm bald, but just wanted to point that. What's that have to do with this? Nothing. But I did want to talk about your background and how you ended up here, and really just kind of give you an idea of who Grady is. Grady's got one of the biggest agencies within all of FFL. Last year, 2024, you guys paid over $120 million as an agency, which is massive. Just this year, this is actually through 1 week of February, you're already at 14 million. So you already hit Agency Hall of Fame this year. So congratulations, by the way. But your background was not in insurance, was it?
No.
What were you doing prior to joining FFL?
So, well, first, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all that you do, all the corporate staff does. It's truly an honor to get to spend some time with you and then to just show gratitude. I'll get in all that, but just coming off the convention, how incredible of a job you did. Walking in it at 9 a.m. on 9:05. I walked in it. I was in before 9, but let's be clear. But at 9:05, I took audit. And 9:05, that room was nearly 100% full.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I know it's a testament of how hard you all work at corporate, the event itself, and then just the opportunity we have here at FFL. So just show you some gratitude, Mike, for all you continue to do for us. But my background is one like many. I didn't do well financially. I was making bad choices. The best sales pitch I made was my wife to stick with me. And, we're having children, trying to figure life out. And I got into network marketing for a while, the MLM, lotions, potions.
Yeah.
We were selling energy drinks and I did okay. I did well by their standards, but in that company, I had about 30,000 people buying that product monthly, Mike.
Yeah.
And my check each month was about $7,000. And if I think back, I think now if I had 30,000 agents
Oh my God.
selling insurance on a monthly basis, what level of volume we'd all be in the billions. And that would just be a surreal experience for us. But at the same standpoint, how many lives we'd be impacting. So I did network marketing for a while where I learned a lot about, communication, personal development, self-growth, pushing through, doing recruiting calls, driving all over town, trying to do presentation and biz op meetings. But it got to the point where the company just wasn't, married, trying to make it happen for me and my wife. And it just, I got approached by some guys who had started a software company. And they were like, hey, we've seen what you've done in the network marketing space. And I was like, I haven't really done much, but perception is reality, right? They're like, you got 30,000 people in your downline. And I was like, yeah, but I don't make any money. And so, but they were like, hey, we could partner up and we could have our software and you could sell it to your team and then other networking groups that And I was like, okay, it's a secondary stream of income. Let's give it a shot. And so I went really all in on that business for a while. And what happened is, fortunately, I started that company because you never know what the future may hold. My network marketing company got shut down.
Got it.
And for income claim, for all kinds of crazy stuff that happens in business. But fortunately, I'd started this other software business where we were doing email marketing, landing pages, websites, video marketing, social media marketing, and it was a cool experience. I learned a ton. I don't know how to put the zeros and ones or do the code or the JSON and the API and the JavaScript. I don't know anything about that, but I could talk passionately about if you can show your opportunity to enough people, you're going to find customers and you're going to find people that want to partner in your business. And so I did that for about 4 years. And what was exciting is we got to a peak where we were doing about 300,000 in monthly revenue, which sounds huge, right? Sounds huge, 300 grand
Sure.
A month in sales. But as an owner, you eat last.
Right.
And being the owner, that was, it was great to have that experience. But at the end of the year, I think I was making 40 grand a year because we got to pay our software engineers
Mm-hmm.
$250 an hour. We've got affiliates that are helping promote our product, hard costs to the business. And you learn a lot about business pretty quick when you see, 300,000 coming in the checking account and, 280 going out. And then me and
Right.
my couple partners were chopping up the rest. And so along that time, married, I had my second child, and we had our third baby. And I always joke, I wanted 2 kids, but my wife's the best salesman in the house, which is why we have 4. And I adore my children, but it's always, I always joke about that. But we had our third child, and I remember being at this turning point of life of like, I can't be the man I want. I can't be the husband I want. I can't be the parent. I can't be the member of my community. I can't take the trips I want. I can't move us in the community I want, making 40 grand a year. My wife was making 60 being a nurse. And I'm, this entrepreneurial driven man who's got all this passion and zest for life.
Right.
But I can't make it happen. And it's crazy the way the world works, man. But Andrew Taylor popped up in my feed, and I'd connected with him earlier, like a couple years prior, and I saw him at a meeting and just dabbling, looking at things, and he was making about 100 grand. And I remember him saying, I make about $100,000 a year, and I got 25 agents. And I was always stuck in my head, because at that time I'm making 40. And I'm like, 100 grand, this guy's up.
Right.
This guy's.
What year was that, Grady?
2016.
Okay.
I ran into Andrew.
Let's back up real quick. So that's 2016, but I want to get into, so you got into network marketing. What were you doing? Were you in college? Did you have a real job at that point? Like, how did you go, like, because network, not everybody gets into it. How did you get into network marketing, and what attracted you to that?
So there was a local company here in Arizona that sprouted up, and they became crazy popular. They became the official energy drink of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Their home office was here, and I just kind of got connected to them. And that's really kind of how I met you, Jamie Cheerio, and a lot of our other kind of guys within our business were from that group. But I'd heard about it. My parents, ironically, were in it in network marketing to a small degree. My dad's been and parents have both in financial services. My mom sets up big 401k plans for large corporations. My dad was a certified financial planner, but they never built like a team of anything except for within network marketing. They just were really, positive, outgoing people. My dad couldn't teach people about how to set up SEPs, and my mom couldn't teach people how to, prospect large businesses, but they could teach people how to share samples of products, and they were trying to build a business. And so for me, getting into the business was by proxy through them. And I just started. It's like, okay, own your own business, low startup capital. You get paid what you're worth, and you can build it as big as you want. People in those companies, they parade them around making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month.
Right.
And you're like, holy cow, what if I just do 10%? And you start to look at that as what's possible. So for me, that's what I saw.
Got it.
And I just grabbed onto it and started sharing the products.
How long did it take you to go from 0 to 30,000 distributors, recruits, whatever you guys called them?
Probably like 5 years.
Probably,
and I found some incredible people. I mean, that's my success in FFL, is my success in anything is only by finding other fantastic people, giving myself to the business, trying to learn enough where I can help them facilitate the landmines they're going to go through.
Yeah.
But the same standpoint, they had networks as too, and we all worked together and just grew a huge team.
So in a nutshell, Grady, how did you do? Because 5 years, it seems like a long time, but it's not. I mean, these companies, we've been around for over 10, going on 11, 12 years now, right? How did you go from 0 to 30,000 distributors? Like, what was your strategy? What were you doing day in and day out? How are you spreading this word?
It's mirror foggers, man. Anybody that could fog a mirror, right? I'm talking to the proactive girl at the mall. I'm talking to the Chili's server. I'm talking to old high school buddies. I'm talking to anybody. Guys come door knocking me, trying to sell me DirecTV. I'm trying to sell them back my own opportunity. And and then you teach that, right? So you create this rabid, feverish energy about everyone getting in and having conversations and building the business and getting product. And in that business model, we had some good products. And so in that world, there's 2 main categories. There's service-based, where you're like reselling, credit repair services. You're reselling DirecTV or Verizon, stuff like that. And then there's a product-based model where you're selling lotions and potions and protein powders.
Got it.
I was in the product-based model. When you've got a product, you've got to have a good product. Now they had really good supplements that like help my aunt and like help my mom and help there's just countless stories. So when you've got those passionate stories about what the products had done, it becomes easier for people to get passionate about taking it. And then you go, hey, if you're taking it, do you have any interest in sharing it? You know, share it to 3, 4, 5, 10 people, get your product for free, share it with 10, 20, 30, 40 people, make yourself a little bit of an override check. And so that's really the model, is just create great stories and get people believing that they could possibly build a little income stream, and some of them take off with it. And that's the collective baseline of what MLM and network marketing type models are.
A lot of work, a lot of quantity over quality, kind of the opposite of what we do, right? That's why I like when people, you guys are MLM. Well, it is multi-level, right? I get it, but it's the antithesis of what's out there. Yeah. We're looking for the quality over the quantity. Matter of fact, we'll probably say no to more people than we say yes to, right? From an onboarding standpoint. But you said something earlier, 30,000 downline, right? And these are not all direct; they're all over the place, right? But 30,000 total in your team there. Yeah. And was it 7,000 you made a month?
Yeah.
7,000. So less than $100,000 a year.
Correct.
Right, close to it, right?
I mean, that was probably my best month.
That was your best.
It's a lot of it's bonus structure. Yeah. You got to do this. There's got to be a certain number of packs are sold, and then one group got too big. And if that group's too big, then the percentage, right? The percentage over here is not as big, and like you're like that. So you can't pay attention to this group. You only got to pay attention to this, and it's kind of that. But in the end, you've got all these people. You're not, I'm not responsible for making the product or shipping the product or selling it or merchant accounts. I'm a good connector, and pay me $7,000 a month to be a good connector. I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but I also wasn't making the 70 or 700 some of these crazy guys in the industry were making.
So I mean, you're still making money. Like, I'm not knocking it. Obviously, they're still making money there, but it's a lot of work, a lot of people for a small piece.
It was unbelievable work. And then you're reselling them. Oh, you're canceling your auto ship, Mike. You're giving up on your dreams. How are you going to take care of Betty if you don't have your monthly supply of energy drinks to pay to then give you the opportunity, then go, and you're just kind of, it's just a lot of chasing your tail, because the products, they're being sold at a premium because there has to be some, you got to have some room for commissions built in too. So a lot of selling and reselling.
Yep. And then you got into the software deal. How long did you do that for?
4 years.
4 years. So 4 years. Thank God you started that, because you were still doing the, as you call it, lotions and potions, and that thing fell through, but you kind of had this on the back burner, right? What was your best year when you were selling software?
It's probably 40.
40.
Got it. It started, when we started it, we weren't making much.
Yeah.
We took some draws and then it grew. We partnered with some really good affiliates, because the software was good software, but you can go two paths in marketing, right? You can pay Google or Facebook, or, if you're a restaurant, you put flyers around your neighbor, you can go guerrilla marketing, or you can pay people to promote it and do the affiliate model, where we carve out 35% of the total sales price, and then pay them a little thing, and then we accrued some tiers, and then we had some. We didn't know what we were doing, but the product kept selling. People liked it, and then you're kind of going, do they like the product because the product's good, or like the product because it's got an affiliate commission? And you're like, well, it doesn't matter. We're making sales, and so, but in the end, we weren't making any money.
Right.
And that really was, I learned so much though. That's really where my email and text and image and marketing background came from, was just doing that 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, and then being involved in that space.
Right. You're like one of the most positive people I know, like, because even you're looking back at this, and there's people that have gone through worse or even not as bad, but the way they talk about it, you would think like they were on the verge of death, right? But I want to go back to something you said earlier. You said that, I'm paraphrasing, but you struggled with this, like, not being able to do the things you wanted to do as a man, take care of your wife, take care of your children the way you wanted to, right? Well, talk to me about that.
Well, so as when you're an entrepreneur, you don't get in it for the hard days. You get in it for the payoff, right?
Correct.
You get in it for the future you're trying to build. And when you spend, I spent 7 years, I think I did, so 5 years to get to 30,000 in that networking company, and then 2 years kind of as it was fizzling out and as I was starting to transition to software.
Yeah.
But the whole time you got like your dream boards, and I'm driving through nice neighborhoods, and I'm driving by
Mm,
nice car lots, and I'm looking at like vacations in Fiji and on YouTube, and you're just living this dream through through your future, right? Essentially, your dream, your whole reason for the paying the price in the moment is for the payoff that you believe is coming.
right.
I sold myself on a future that was coming every single day, and I sold my wife on it, and I sold my team on it, and I sold my downline on it, and I wasn't selling them on my future, I was selling on their own future. But like, so I'm living in this world for over a decade, Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't find FFL. I'm 41 now. I didn't find FFL till I was 34, and
Wow.
I started in the networking company in my younger 20s.
Yeah.
And so we're talking over a decade of just of Jim Rohn and Brian Tracy, Les
Mm-hmm.
Brown, Darren Hardy, Bob Proctor. All I could do to just pour positivity in my head and to be in a place where I believe it would come.
Yeah.
And so when you're in that space, you imagine the light, let's go to Disneyland on a whim. Let's take them
Right.
to the beach. Let's, I got 4 kids and all, I had 2, 3 at the time, but I'm believing, Mike, and I'm believing it'll happen. And dude, it was not good. Like
Right.
it was, I'm borrowing money to pay for stuff.
Yeah.
My wife's having to work overtime as I'm doing opportunity meetings again. I'm doing phone calls all day long trying to recruit people, and they get started and then they quit in a month, and just this repetitive
Yeah.
cycle. So like, dude, when I saw FFL and I was like, you're telling me you have leads of people I don't have to go talk to a single server. I don't have to like make an uncomfortable close again at a dinner ever again. Unless I want to, unless they got a great personality, but I'm just
Sure.
trying to recruit mirror foggers, right?
Yeah.
Anybody that could buy the product I could make a $10, $20 commission on. And then if they built a little business, I'd make a $2 commission for every single person they recruited that was downline 1 or 2 or 3 levels.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it worked. And so to be in that space as someone who's got these goals and has led people, but never really paid off, to find us, to find our home, to find this company. And it's just now, it's me versus me again.
Right.
But the commissions are crazy.
Absolutely. How'd you find us? You said Andrew Taylor hit your feed, social media?
So, yeah. So, I mean, throughout this period of time, I looked at an insurance company for like 15 seconds.
Okay.
And I went to one meeting and he was there. And he told his story, and I just, I was doing the networking thing, I was doing the software thing, and I'm looking, I looked at, you keep your head on a swivel when you're trying to find your way out.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't the right time for me at that point. 2015, 2016, and then 2017 came, and the software company is dwindling, or it's not going the direction I want. We're about to have our 3rd child, and I just am like, you wake up and you're like, it's time, right?
Yeah.
It's time for you to stop making excuses and betting on these other things. You have to bet on yourself. And that's really what I love about FFL. If you want to go write $1 million on your own pen and never recruit a person,
right,
welcome home.
How about it?
You want to go recruit the world and make $1 million a year by helping everybody you possibly can, welcome home. And so when I saw that model, so when I reconnected with him 2 years later, this is the craziest part. I was like, hey man, I met you at like a meeting. You wouldn't know me. I didn't even say hi, but like, I appreciated your story. You mentioned you're making like $100,000 a year. And he goes, yeah, I'm doing a little better now. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And he's like, yeah, I wrote $400,000 last year, and I made $400,000 in overrides off of my team. And like my jaw, like I was like, oh my God, Grady, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You have, and and we all know Andrew. I love Andrew.
Right.
He is not he's not this sales savant.
No.
He's not rolling around selling iced Eskimos and ketchup popsicles to ladies in white gloves. He's just a very simple, methodical person who plans his work and works his plan. And to me, I was like, you're kind of the opposite of me, which is probably good for me, because if we were both these two like fireworks, we might explode, right? But you're very kind of docile and controlled, and I need someone to guide me, and he was there for me.
Yeah.
And there for me as dry and as direct as he could be.
Right.
And it's just I can get into more, but it's incredible, Mike.
Yeah. What was that transition like? Because, these network marketing deals, it was all about the product, right? You mentioned like these products are good, and I would say our sale, matter of fact, I had Gary Alberg here last week, and we talked about this. Oh, he's great. But specifically, like, you don't need to even know much about the products to sell, because we're finding that void, we're finding that reason, that need, and filling that why for the client. It's the products are the products, dude. We got 20, 30 different carriers, and they all will see I'll bring the reps here, Grady. They'll tell me on how their product's the best, this and that. I'm like, dude, it's the same as this one's product. You got this bell and whistle that this company have. It's all the same shit. Knock it off, right? Like, some of them pay more, some of them have different riders, but at the end of the day, life insurance is life insurance when you're in a simplified issue market. It's not the product that sells it. And I think that's the biggest difference, right? Like, when you're in this software is badass. It sells itself. This potion, this load, whatever. But this is a different sale. How was that transition for you? Because you did, what, 350 was that your first year when you sold 350 personally?
First year 250, second year 350.
Yep. And for context, at that time, we probably had, 12 Hall of Famers? So, like, you were the top 20 at 350. Now you, probably wouldn't even get an award, but it was a different day. Like, dude, I started this business before you. I sold, 250 and was, number 10 in the country. Sean was number 1 with, 300 one year. Like, it was a different day.
Yeah.
But how was that transition from being so product heavy to now they're buying you, Grady? They're not buying the product.
Yeah, it was very surreal, because I remember this is, today's day, like, insurance in 2025, if you had to do what I had to do, you new agents, like, we used to have to walk uphill both ways in the snow with our eyes closed.
No shoes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I remember, I tell Andrew, I'm like, I'm ready. And he's like, are you ready? Whatever. And then he's like, you need to buy some leads. I'm like, okay. So I buy some leads and I start calling them, and I'm booking local. I live in Arizona, and Arizona, for context, is 300 miles, or Phoenix is 300 miles wide. Maybe it's 150, but it is.
It's the size of Connecticut alone.
It's humongous. And so when you buy leads, they just come into the county. Maricopa County is gigantic. Yeah. And so I get these leads. I start calling them, nervous as heck, just terrified. But knowing that if these guys, if Jack, you can do it, and if Andrew can do it, and Trey can do it, and all these guys that I see in the Facebook groups and on the leadership calls, and I'm like, okay, just do it, just it's that, when you're working out, just do it, right. Stop thinking, just push the weight. So I'm I start calling, and I get the people on the phone, and I start booking some appointments. And Mike, my first, I kid you not, my first 9 appointments booked were no-shows. I didn't know how to tie them down. I must have sounded like a marshmallow on the phone, but I just persisted and persisted. And my 10th appointment, Patricia P., $42 Americo Eagle, when the deposit came in, I was like, oh my God,
yeah,
this is real. And so
what'd that one policy pay you? $42 a month, whatever comp you were at, would
98, it was a couple $100.
Couple $100.
But a couple $100 when you're making, 42,000
correct
a year, you're like, this is great. That we bought the leads on credit card. We're just robbing Peter to play ball. Pushing down out the
free for 30 days, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that at that point, I was like, oh my God. And so I bought those. I got going. Ended up issuing 14 my first month in January of 2018. And then, what do you do when you make more money in a month you've ever made before? You go on vacation.
Of course.
Right? So of course, we went to California. We visited her mom. Yeah. I filled up her fridge with groceries. I bought her a new TV. It's just the wrong things. Right. And I always tell the story because I'm like, don't do these things. When you start this, just lock yourself in your business for 6 months. Get ahead of the curve. Yeah. And so, my second month, we issued 8. And that's not the same, especially when there's a couple of chargebacks coming. We're buying leads again. Yep. But fortunately, in that month, Mike, I went to annual convention. And that was my first convention in Dallas. I knew no one. Andrew's like, get to convention. Like, that's all he said. That was his bigger,
Yeah.
that
was his
find out
sales
this
pitch.
kid's going to do something, right? So he says, get to convention. I got to that convention, and that was the turning point of my entire life, right? To see the 100, I think there was 700-800 people in the room at the Anatole back then.
Right.
And I'm sitting on the back room on the floor, because this is back when we packed it out. It was awesome.
Right.
And I'm seeing all these people on stage. I'm hearing stories, all this passion, all these people just doing what I'm doing, making crazy big money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went to that and learned all about, 615 or 645, which works better for you, aged leads, learned about mortgage protection closes from Frank, learned all this, just the necessary things. And I went back in March of my third month, and I wrote 33.
Yeah.
And just, bought all the leads, door knocking, following up, just persistent passion, hearing it's okay to work your absolute face off.
Right.
And doing that set me up for to close out that year. And then probably my third, fourth, fifth month, I started Andrew's like, hey, you're writing 30 a month consistently. You should start recruiting some people. And I was like, dude, I'm doing good, man. I'm making more money I've ever made in my life. We just moved to a new house.
Yeah.
Bought my wife a new Yukon, it changed quick, bro. It was incredible. And I was like, I don't know if I want to start messing with people. And he's like, no, I think you could do something with this.
Why were you hesitant, Grady? Because of your background and what you've gone through with, okay.
Just, from having seen, having never had the ability to make money.
Yeah.
Always beholden on the team to make money from the network marketing standpoint,
right? And
always beholden on software sales. I was like, I'm finally at a place where I'm the shepherd, I'm the farmer, I'm the gold miner here, and as much as I want to mine is up to me. And so I started, I remember Andrew talking about, hey man, I make this much in overrides, and I was like, well, good for you, just a little hesitance and pessimism about it, not that I didn't think I could do or want to do it. I was like, my whole identity shifted in a few months, and I saw my future. I saw the ability to go take care of my kids and buy us a home and take care of all the things, and for my wife to essentially retire in her 30s. And it was just but long story short, I was like, okay. And I started getting into it, posting ads, talking to everybody I knew. And, we hit VP by November of that first year. So 150 a month in November. And I remember hitting it, and I was like, oh my God, this is cool. And I got a VP bonus of $300, back when the VP bonuses were a couple $100. But to me, it was free money. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. So it's awesome.
We talk about money, right? Talking about what we made, but also the important part is, what did you keep, right? So you mentioned back when you were doing the network marketing, or when you were doing your software sales, 40K was your take home. That was your net after all expenses, after you paid everybody, right? Your first full year with us, you sold 350. What did you gross? What did you net? Do you remember?
So just for clarity, for those, 250 was my first year, then 350 my second year I wrote. But so I was grossed probably close to 250, 300 my first year.
Yeah.
And then probably kept around 200, right? Because I wasn't buying a ton. I was probably spending $1,000 a week in leads at that point.
Yeah.
And then my second year, when the team started to explode, I grossed about 500 and probably kept 350.
Yeah.
And then my third year, it got bananas, and we grossed about 1.7.
Wow.
And I think my tax return was 1.2.
Yeah.
Just insane.
And it's you got to spend money to make money, right? Because you think about that first year, you gross 253, spent 50, not crazy. And then that next year, your expenses were a couple $100,000, but you netted more. And that's the key. Gross is great, but how much are you actually taking? I think a lot of times in businesses, industries, you get recruited with gross numbers. Hey, here's how much I made last year. Yeah, but how much did you actually keep?
Yeah.
Because grossing 500K, if you're keeping 50, in my opinion, sucks.
Yeah.
And it's I think about, Sean says this a lot, are you in the right vehicle? I feel like you were the right person in the wrong vehicle for a long time.
I agree.
You're the guy who if you're watching this, who do you want to recruit? You want to recruit someone like Grady. Someone that's positive, someone that will work their ass off, someone that will sell, that has a big dream, a big why. I think that's key. I think you always had that big why, but like you said earlier, you didn't have the right vehicle to get you to that why.
Correct. Yeah.
And that changed when it's funny you bring up Andrew, because the whole reason I'm sitting in this seat today is Andrew Taylor. I went to a convention at another company where it was probably closer to what you did in network marketing. We grossed money, dude. I was on stage getting an income ring for making six figures, and I had to drive my car, my Hyundai Sonata, from Connecticut to North Carolina because I couldn't afford plane tickets. But I'd sold so much that I got a free hotel room because I was number one in some. It was just all messed up. Like, I'm being rewarded, income ring, on stage, winning awards that I have to drive back home because I can't afford a plane ticket. But that's a whole nother story. But I went to this event, I was a few months into the business, and I saw Andrew Taylor on stage. He was probably 19, 20 years old, something like that. He couldn't even go to the bar. And they're like, this kid used to bag groceries 2 years ago, and he made six figures selling life insurance last year. And I was like, holy shit, no offense, but if he can do it, I can absolutely do this. And that's why the event's so important, right? Like, you kind of had that same effect the first event here. Like, I sold a little bit, but these guys are doing that much. And I love them, but there's nothing special about them, right?
No, they just worked hard. Got a lot of leads, had a lot of conversations, grew their skill set, asked for referrals, sold the spouse, didn't leave money on the table.
Correct. And it just goes back, like, if you're watching this, a lot of people, our True Talk audience, Grady, are probably more non-agents than agents. A lot of people checking us out. You may just be in the wrong vehicle. Like, if you're struggling, I bet there's a lot of people watching that are where you were back in 2015, 16, like, just beating their head against the wall. Like, dude, what am I doing wrong? I remember thinking that at this old company. What am I doing wrong? Because I'm selling, I'm working like crazy, I'm never home, I'm always either dialing, booking appointments, running appointments, but I have no money. What am I doing wrong? It's like, dude, I got this. Here, let me show you. I got this big-ass water jug, right? So I had a half a gallon jug because I dropped mine and broke mine, right? And I just had one at home, and I'm supposed to be drinking a gallon of water a day. Well, Grady, I'm walking around with a half-gallon jug. How much water do you think I was drinking a day?
Half gallon.
Half a gallon. Because that's what – so now I'm like, you know what? I need to get a full gallon. So magically, I got a full gallon. You know how much water I've been drinking a day, Grady, since I got this?
Gallon?
A gallon. Because I had the wrong vehicle. It's kind of like the same concept, right? Like, you're trying to get these results, but you're not in the right vehicle. You're carrying around a half-gallon jug trying to drink a gallon. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You'd ask yourself, am I in the – sometimes it's not you. Like that, I think a lot of these network marketing, a lot of these multi-level deals, they're always under this idea of if you're not having the results you want, it's you. A lot of times that's true, but sometimes you got to take a step back and go, well, wait a minute, is anybody having this result here? And I think that's the beauty about what we do is we have so many people validating the model that when you go to a convention, when you go to Ignite conference, for example, you guys have put one on. I kind of want to get into that. But when you go to these things, you see people that are just like you. They're in the same vehicle, and maybe they're having better results. We have those examples here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about you talked about convention, how great that was, but you guys are putting on Ignite conference. Is that in June?
Yes, we're finalizing the dates.
Okay.
Looking about the first week of June. The Dream City Church is our venue. And then we've done a convention there, a launch event, a couple other trainings there over the years. It's just a beautiful facility. I think it holds 3,000 people on the main floor, 6,000 people if you include the upper
it's awesome.
mezzanine. I think that's the right word. But stage is spectacular, boom crane, whole thing. It's a very impressive facility. And, we have a great relationship with Dream Center, Dream City, that whole group through Pastor Matthew and his brother. And right here in Phoenix. And we did that event last year in Vegas, did it in Palm Beach. And then now we're bringing it down here to Arizona, which I'm grateful for. We just have a great group here and great, kind of service the whole Southwest. And anyone that wants to travel past the Mississippi, we'd love to have you. But it'll be a full day training, top producers, agency managers breaking down how to win big in insurance. So igniteevent.com if you want to learn more. That's you can pre-register just to get more information. And then once we have everything officially locked down and, inked on paper, but at that point, everything will be updated there. So
Awesome.
anyone that needs to register, but yeah, should have Sean will be there. All the agency managers, all the people rock and roll, and Jay Maska, Caitlin, Andrew, all these, great Nina Hayden, all these great
Yeah.
agency managers will be there.
And one of the things that you'll learn the more you're around us is the top producers and the top managers participate in more training than the guys at the bottom. Yeah. Like, it just is. Like, you ask Steve Giordano what training he gets on, he's like, all of them. With as much as you are the number one producer for the past 2 or 3, he'll be on True Talk in a few weeks.
Awesome.
And he will tell you that he gets on everything. You're like, but why? He's so good. Well, that's why he's so good. Because he gets on everything. He gets to all these events. No different than yourself. I have a question that has nothing to do with life insurance, but I see, is that a dog, a transformer, and a football helmet? What's on your desk, dude? What is that?
Very funny. What's that? I'll tell the backstory. I've watched, watching a lot of podcasts and videos over the years. You always see a lot of these guys collect things.
Yeah.
And this was a gift from Brian Adams,
okay,
CEO of Integrity, talking about the evolution of our company, and we need to transform and becoming better. And he sent it all to partners, and so I thought it'd be very appropriate.
That's
if you ever
awesome.
happens to check out some videos to see me on there, this sitting is a helmet.
Okay, yeah.
In the all the events they do, and then China and I, I believe she was pregnant with her last baby, we took a walk around the office complex, and there's a Goodwill over in the corner, and we just went in there for a second, and I thought this was just a cool little money puppy,
Oh, money, I love it.
So that's where we feeling to evolve the converse, to evolve the visual touches in the screen.
Love it. We're going to wrap up with a little fun segment, true or false, Grady. Okay. So I know you know how this works. I'm going to throw out a statement. You're just going to let me know in your opinion if it's true or false, okay?
Okay.
All right, number 1, sales without leads is like running through traffic blindfolded.
True.
Anyone can have success with FFL. It's easy.
False.
If your downline threatens to quit, you should have a meltdown and stop working.
False.
Life insurance is the best industry for people who thrive in sales.
True.
If you have kids, you won't have enough time to sell insurance and build a business.
100% false.
Agents with huge egos make the best salespeople.
False.
There's nothing funny about being broke.
True.
And last but not least, if you're already selling, you don't need to go to trainings like Ignite and Convention.
False.
100% false. Well, dude, I appreciate you taking out time to do this. I appreciate everything you do and have done for this company. You're a great marketer, great recruiter. Well, actually, Grady will be on TNL as well this week, and we're going to talk about recruiting because you built one of the biggest businesses within FFL. So I appreciate all you do. Guys, hit subscribe, share this with your team. If you are checking us out, ask yourself, are you in the right vehicle, or are you the right person in the wrong vehicle? If you are, give us a call. Grady, let everybody know before we wrap up where to find you on social media.
You can go to my website, GradyPolcyn.com. I got some tools and trips, nothing to, just some different marketing stuff that I've got, a couple videos that I love that really kind of expand your mind. But best, find me on Instagram at Grady Polcyn, spelled common spelling,
right.
GradyPolcyn. I was, as a joke, on DirecTV, Andrew Siciliano does the at Sunday Ticket, and he's like, you can find me on social, Andrew Siciliano, common spelling, and you're like,
yeah, what the
like, okay. So but yeah, no, Mike, thank you so much. This is such a phenomenal call. And guys, if you are in the wrong vehicle, you should look at our vehicle, because our vehicle is going very fast right down the road, and we got plenty of room for people that want to make it happen. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mike, for having me on.
100%, no problem. Thanks for joining. And guys, check out the Ignite conference. What's the website for that again?
IgniteEvent.com.
Cool, and it'll be in the description as well. Get registered early June. Grady will have a date pretty soon, but you're not going to want to miss that. And then go to FFLconvention.com to get registered for next year's event. We're back at the Irving Convention Center. We got VIP, premier seating available. We're working on a crazy speaker lineup. You do not want to miss that. We gave out a few $100,000 of leads last year. We're going to top that next year. So hopefully we'll see you all there. Grady, thanks again. Guys, we'll see you next week right here on True Talk.